Hi, and welcome back to Finished Vehicle Logistics North America 2026. I'm here on the red sofa with Cassandra Morgan, Manager of Finished Vehicle Logistics at Mercedes-Benz USA. Thank you for joining us, Cassandra.
Thank you, Vegas. I'm very glad to be here.
Me too. I wonder what has been the biggest challenge or changes in vehicle logistics in the past 12 months, and how have you approached these?
Probably the biggest thing has been tariffs. Has been huge, right? It's been a volatile road to get there, and the cost that was associated to make those changes as they were happening was something that we were not, obviously it was unforeseeable, right? Just recently, though, what we've been dealing with is the fuel spikes, and I'm sure that's a very popular topic, and it has been this whole conference so far. And what we can do from an OEM to be able to support the carriers, and that's obviously we only do it once a month, so having to maybe more frequently look at those and reassess those and appropriately update our fuel surcharge so that we can help the carriers and their sub-hauler network, because obviously that affected them tremendously.
Yeah. And this kind of ties into that a little bit, but how would you characterize the performance of the road transport so far this year?
Okay. So we actually brought in some newer contracted carriers in February. We have our special moves portal we use like as an audition basis, and so we brought some of those carriers in to do contract work in February, and then March we had the quarter end push like every other OEM, and it was a bit larger than they expected. So just kind of helping those new carriers. We've now already seen that it's normalizing in April, which is great. So we're just continuing supporting them and their new contracts with us and what we can do to further that.
Yeah, excellent. And how do you measure success in your vehicle logistics for road transport? What sort of KPIs do you look at there?
So the biggest one is when my phone doesn't ring with a dealer asking me where their car is. Yeah. That's a successful day. But in reality, I actually meet with all of our contracted carriers on a monthly basis, and we go over things like average dwell for pickup at each origin, time to customer. Obviously, we want those cars to get there in the promised hours you guys told us you would get them there. And then but also looking from a data side, right? So I want to make sure that it's the data you're providing or your TMS is providing to our system overhaul that we use for our logistics tracking, that we're getting that complete, right? Because if I'm not getting great data there, then I can't provide the great KPIs and know what's going on back.
So looking at opportunities beyond cost control, what other areas do you see where you could boost productivity across the network, and how are you working with your partners to integrate these?
So we try to be as transparent and just open lines of communication with our carriers as possible, right? So though sometimes things come up last minute and we explained it to them like, hey, we just found out ourselves, right? So it's very much, we try to have those if it's an ad hoc thing that comes through, we reach out and do like an email blast of some sort to kind of get that communication out. But if there's anything is scheduled, a system update, for instance, or any kind of something that's going to be shut down for the weekend, we try to explain to the carriers as quickly as possible as when we find out about it. So if I can, during those monthly KPI calls is usually when I'm going through that. And that also gives the carrier the opportunity to, if they see any concerns with that, they can communicate back and we can try and be proactive of what we can do to fix that.
Yeah. Brilliant. Mm-hmm. And then final question for you. What does success in 2026 look like for Mercedes-Benz Vehicle Logistics? And what do you think will be the most critical thing in helping you achieve that success?
Okay. A big thing for me right now is transparency and communication, right? In the same way that the carriers want to know anything that's going to affect productivity or any kind of delays of anything, spikes, lulls, that kind of thing. I'm expecting them to also communicate back to me, right? So if we do a big push and there's issues that they're going to see about meeting the deadlines, I want them to tell me that ahead of time and not wait till it's aging or dwelling and I'm getting those phone calls from the dealer that we talked about. So it's a trust, it's a partnership. And so I'm relying on them to tell me what they need and what we both will need to help succeed in 2026.
Well, it sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see how it goes. You never know. This year feels like unprecedented times is all we deal with logistics. So hopefully we don't see anything else for the rest of the year, knock on wood. But yeah, it's never a dull moment in logistics.
You're right about that. Cassandra, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me and letting me do this little interview. I appreciate it.
No problem. And we'll share more from Cassandra on our website and LinkedIn as well. So be sure to check that out. Thank you so much.
Thank you.